There is something deeply exhausting about trying harder and feeling worse. You upgrade your skills. You optimize your routine. You do everything the productivity content told you to do. And somehow, at the end of it all, you feel more behind than when you started. That is not a motivation problem. That is not laziness. That is a documented psychological trap. And it just played out live in front of thousands of people at the most controversial sporting event of 2026. An event where athletes were handed syringes instead of rule books. And still, they lost. Here is what most people believe. More input equals more output. More effort. More supplements. More courses. More optimization. The formula seems obvious. It seems almost biological. And that is exactly why it is so dangerous. Because what we were never told, what no productivity guru, no self-help book, no motivational reel ever explained, is that there are two completely different psychological engines that can drive self-improvement. And one of them actively destroys the very performance it is trying to build. But here is the truth nobody tells you. Scientists just accidentally ran the most expensive real-world experiment on this exact question. And the results broke the internet. In May 2026, the Enhanced Games held its first event in Las Vegas. An Olympic-style competition where performance-enhancing drugs were not just allowed, they were celebrated. The entire premise of the event was a direct scientific claim that the natural human body has a hard ceiling, and that enhancement is the only rational path forward. The enhanced athletes lost. Multiple events were won by competitors who had taken nothing out of every single competitive event at the 2026 Enhanced Games. Only one world record was broken. One. And the rest of the podium? Clean athletes.
No substances. No protocols.
Nothing. Now why? In 1982, psychologist Roy Baumeister at Princeton University identified a phenomenon he called compensatory self-enhancement. His research showed that when a person upgrades their performance in response to feeling inadequate, rather than from genuine curiosity or love of the craft, the upgrade itself becomes a signal of threat to the nervous system. The brain reads the enhancement not as growth, but as evidence that you weren't enough. And a brain that believes it is not enough cannot perform at its ceiling. It is biologically incapable. But here is where it gets personal. Leon Festinger at Stanford, whose 1954 social comparison theory is one of the most replicated findings in all of social psychology, proved that humans have a near-automatic drive to evaluate themselves against nearby peers. The moment someone in your orbit gets promoted, gets the body, gets the result, your baseline doesn't stay the same. It drops. Instantly. Neurologically. You didn't choose to feel behind. Your brain chose for you. And then it handed you a shopping cart and pointed you toward the enhancement aisle. This is not about the Enhanced Games anymore. This stopped being about sports the moment the clean athletes crossed the finish line first. This is about every upgrade you have ever made from a place of fear. The next time you feel the pull to upgrade, a new course, a new supplement, a new version of yourself, stop for 3 seconds and ask one question. Am I doing this because I am excited? Or am I doing this because I just saw someone else do it first? That question is not small. That question is the entire difference between intrinsic motivation, which doctors Richard Ryan and Edward Deci at the University of Rochester showed consistently predicts higher performance, higher satisfaction, and longer sustainability, and fear-driven enhancement, which predicts burnout, anxiety, and the exact hollow feeling you had at the beginning of this video. The enhanced athletes didn't lose because they were weaker. They lost because their nervous systems were running on threat. And threat is the worst possible fuel for the thing you are actually trying to build. The world spent millions of dollars building an arena to prove that you are not enough as you are. The arena's own results proved itself wrong. You were never behind. You were just handed a scoreboard you never agreed to keep. And your brain, doing exactly what evolution designed it to do, started playing. You can put the scoreboard down. Not because the competition isn't real. Not because others aren't upgrading. But because the science is now undeniable. The most powerful version of you is not the most enhanced version of you. Think about the last time you improved something, truly improved it. Not because you saw someone else do it, but because you simply couldn't help yourself. That feeling. That is the one. It is the version that stopped performing for the invisible judge and started building for the only reason that has ever actually worked. Because you wanted to.